Welcome to Acing Autism's 4th virtual clinic. I'm Miles. I'm very excited to share today's exercises with you. We've had some help from our friends at Net Generation, so let's go ahead and get warmed up. For our 4th virtual clinic, we'll begin with a group warm-up, briefly reviewing weeks 1 to 3 before introducing a new exercise for week 4. We'll do a couple hand-eye coordination exercises. We'll have a few racket skills challenges, and then we'll do our final cheer. For today's clinic, you'll need a tennis racket and 2 tennis balls. If you don't have a racket, we'll also demonstrate an activity you can do without one. For today's group warm-up, we will briefly review the previous 3 weeks' exercises before we get into week 4's. So if you're not already standing, go ahead and stand up. Let's get in a nice ready position with your knees slightly bent, arms out to the side. We're going to do 3 forward arm circles. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Now let's go in the other direction and go backwards 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and shake your arms out, shake your legs out, and then we'll come back to that same ready position with your knees bent, arms out, and we're going to do 5 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we have 2 more. Now we're going to get into high knees, which we covered in week 2. So bring your feet a little closer together, 1 foot off the ground, and stay here. Get your balance, feel comfortable. If you want to go further, you can put your hands on your knee. And the last step for a real challenge is to pull your knee into your chest. That's 1. We're going to do 3 more. Foot up. Grab your knee and pull. Foot up. Grab your knee and pull. Let's do 1 more together. Foot up. Grab your knee and pull. Good. In week 3, we looked at different variations of stepping over a line. So let's go ahead and come to the side. And we're going to start just by getting in ready position with our knees slightly bent. And we're going to step over the line 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. If your body's feeling warmed up and you're ready to start moving around a little bit more, we can go ahead and come to the side of the line and we'll jump over the line 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. For today's group warm-up exercise, you're going to need to grab 4 tennis balls and place them around you in a square like we have here on the court. You and I are going to have a relay race, seeing who can finish first, retrieving 1 ball at a time, bringing it back to the tee. Are you ready? So let's go ahead and get in ready position with our knees slightly bent. And 1, 2, 3. Woo. How did you do? Did anybody beat me? For today's hand-eye coordination exercise, we are going to borrow from our friends at Net Generation and do an exercise called Mamba Rama. You're going to need 2 tennis balls, but to start, you'll just be using 1. We'll get in ready position, and we're going to dribble the ball up and down 5 times. You can use a flat hand, or, which is what I'm going to be doing, you can just be throwing it up and down. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's switch and use your other hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From here, we can make it a little harder by going closer to the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The other hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can think about crossing the ball across our body using both hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And lastly, now is when you'll use that second ball. So my partner's behind the camera. Throw me mine. You have your 2, and we're going to do both hands at once 5 times. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For today's Racket Skills exercise, you need just a single tennis ball and a tennis racket. If you don't have a tennis racket, stay tuned. After we demonstrate it with the racket, we'll show you a version to do without the racket. To start, we're going to play a game called Jacks, which is also courtesy of our friends at Net Generation. So you're going to have the tennis ball in your non-dominant hand and your racket in your dominant hand. And you're going to drop the tennis ball, hit it, and catch it. And each time we're going to try and count up. So we'll start with 1. 1. If you feel good doing that, we can go for 2. 1, 2. Think about moving on for 3. 1, 2, 3. And try and count all the way up until 10. Now here's a version of Jacks you can play without a tennis racket. You'll still need a tennis ball. And the same idea applies, except instead of hitting the ball with the racket, we're going to be clapping. So let's start. The ball out. 1. 2. 3. Let's do one more. Let's try and get to 5. 5. Can anybody go further and maybe get to 10? That's a wrap for our 4th virtual clinic. How's everybody feeling? I know I'm a little tired. I'm ready for some water and some shade. I want to first thank everybody at Net Generation for their fun exercises that we got to do together today. And this Texas sun is pretty hot, so let's go ahead and bring our hands in for our final cheer. 1, 2, 3, tennis!